Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos. As I see the current global situation, I see that a lot of people are stressed, whether it be about their job, their health, etc. Another place I've seen a lot of stress growing is stress related to college, especially for the juniors, soon to be seniors. So I decided that I would try to help with that. I'm currently a soon to graduate senior and will attend Brown University in the fall. This is the first video of a multi-part series where I will explore the college applying process and the basics of it through a student's lens. As you saw in the title, today we will focus on starting to create that college list and simply finding the place that is right for you. Let's start from scratch. What is college? No, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, I think you do need to consider that question to a certain degree. After all, it's higher education, and there's a lot of paths. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go to community college, vocational school, or a four-year college or university? Throughout my videos, I will focus on that third option, as it is what I know the most about. But regardless of what you choose, know that everyone's path is different. Everyone has different goals and different ways of getting there. So where you start does not dictate where you will end. Now, when thinking of what kind of college you would like to go to, there are multiple factors that should be taken into account. They include, but are not necessarily limited to location, community setting, size of school, and type of school. They aren't in order of importance or anything, as that is something that you will personally decide on a case-by-case basis. I know this can also feel very overwhelming, but believe me, it'll be okay. The geographic location of where you go to college will determine a lot of things, from the climate throughout the year to the colloquial terms you will learn there. If you're in the US, then the main geographic locations are West Coast, Rocky Mountains, Midwest, South, Mid-Atlantic, and New England. This also brings up the topic of how far away from home do you want to be? Do you want to be a car ride away, train ride, plane ride? You decide. I would recommend thinking about this topic first, as it can narrow down your list of more than 4,000 universities across the US down. But remember, always keep an open mind throughout this process. Once you have decided what regions of the country you would be going to college happy in, it's time to think about what kind of community environment you want to have. And there are three main types. There is urban, suburban, and rural. But each of these have a subcategory, per se. For example, I'm going to Brown University, which is an urban place in Providence, Rhode Island. However, that's a small city. If I had gone to Columbia or NYU, that would be a completely different vibe, since they're in the huge city of New York.
As a side note, I'd like to encourage you to not dismiss rural settings, as there are many amazing colleges there.
To decide on this subject, think about what kind of setting you want to have. Do you want to be able to go out of campus every single day and have a new place to go to and a new experience? Or would you like to be in a small town where you can get to know everyone that lives there? The reason I'm putting these two terms together is because they overlap a lot. I would say that the main three types of college and universities are big research universities, small liberal arts colleges, and medium-sized universities as a middle ground between the two. Big research universities are places like the University of Michigan, UCLA, CU Boulder, and so on and so forth. They usually tend to have an undergrad enrollment of about 30,000 people, so it's pretty big. Places like these tend to have quite a bit of resources due to the sheer size of the student populations. They also tend to have bigger classrooms and bigger class sizes, which makes it much more likely for you to be in a lecture hall for one of your freshman classes. They also have much bigger party scenes, if that's something you're looking to. And they have a lot of big sporting events with tailgating involved. Oh, and there are a lot of opportunities for students to do research. However, at some places, it can be more limited to the graduate students and not so much the undergrads. Small liberal arts colleges have between 1,500 to 3,000 students. There are places like Carleton, Bowdoin, Pomona, etc. They tend to be mainly private universities. They also tend to have higher teacher-to-student ratios and smaller class sizes. They also encourage students to look and explore many kinds of subject areas, hence the term liberal arts. They have close-knit communities and they tend to have more collaborative environments. They're also known for having a heavier focus on the humanities, although that's not always true. Lastly, medium-sized universities. These places have an enrollment of about 5,000 to 15,000 students, maybe a little bit more. They usually have a balance of attributes between liberal arts colleges and big research universities. Places like these include Brown, Rice, Marquette, Tufts, and so on. These schools can vary wildly when it comes to how many resources they have, how hard they are to get into, and things like that, as this is probably the biggest category. Something that's extremely important to consider when making your college list is to look at the academic offerings. After all, that's what you're going to college for, right? If you have your mind set on when you want to study, it's probably worth your time to look at universities that have programs and academic offerings that are related to that field of study. Let's say you want to do aviation. That narrows down your college list a lot. But let's say you want to major in history. You still have a lot of options with that. A last factor that I want to touch on is the student body and atmosphere. This is something that you start realizing as you do more research, and it refers to the kind of atmosphere that colleges foster. For example, you might want a university that has a lot of collaborativeness and cooperation, or maybe a place that is cutthroat and competitive. Maybe there's a lot of activism on campus, or maybe there is a really strong pre-professional vibe. As you do research, you start getting that vibe from the school you're looking at, and you start to see if you like it or not. Especially if you end up visiting the university or talk to someone that has gone there or goes there. When thinking of all these categories, make a list of which factors are the most important to you. What things do you definitely need? Do you definitely need the school to have a pre-med program? Do you need them to have an open curriculum for you to explore a lot of different subjects? Numbering each factor will allow you to get a better sense of what your thoughts are on the colleges that you're looking at, and might help you narrow down your lists faster. But remember, don't rush yourself. Take your time looking at places that will suit your needs. And when looking at specific colleges, try to forget the prestige for a sec. I know that can be very hard, but I guarantee you that you'll be happier at a college that was a perfect fit for you than a college that you dread going back to after every vacation. There's also the issue of how many safety schools, how many match schools, how many reach schools should I have on my list? That's something that I'm going to discuss in a later video relating to academic fit. For now, that was all for today. Please leave a like and a comment below if you think I missed anything, or if you have any advice that you think everyone should know. Please take care. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.